He said he bet me 5K.
I told Regan to put his money where his mouth is.
5K, I beat him.
5K?
5K US dollars. They don't back out now.
Fifth place finisher, Blessing, the Boogeyman.
I faded and flattened out. And hey, don't come at me with a 5K bet. My 7 Regan, how they handle backstage. So if you want more information, head over to Regan. Alright?
Hi guys, welcome back with the Flex Weekend Italy Pro 2023 complete lineup result of 19 contestants. It was one of the best shows of the year with fully stacked lineup. So let's dive into it. Gu Shengyuan all the way from China was out of top 15. Also Thomas Tabasier from Slovakia, who decided to compete in men's open division this time, he could not crack top 15. Giovanni Aspizia did not get any place. And Ali Jalil Nasir Al-Zarqani all the way from Iraq made his pro debut. He could not crack top 15, but he has presented very decent physique in his first pro show. Khalid Al-Kazim from Kuwait has taken last place in the contest. Andrea Balzoni was around to 30 pounds in his first show of the season Flex Weekend Pro. He arrived at 14th place. Simone Bassanelli from Italy has made his pro debut with 13th place. He presented a decent package with impressive legs development. The fourth Italian contestant in the lineup, Andrea Mozzi, showcased a very dense and sharp physique from front, but from back he's not as impressive as he's in front and side shots. His back really hinders him from moving up in the contest. Andrea had to settle for 12th place in the event. 11th place finisher Artem Paknek from Russia has great shape and lines. His conditioning was impressive. He has very flat midsection, but he needs to put on mass in order to be a real threat in the competition. German Rising Star Dennis Reinhold has managed to crack top 10 in his pro debut show. He has wide clavicles, huge shoulders and very outstanding lower half. His abs were not deep enough, he was losing control a little bit in his midsection. And I think his arms need improvement, but he presented a very imposing physique and it was a magnificent pro debut. Another German in the lineup, Mike Cheshla, has arrived at 9th place. He has brought 11 pounds heavier package this time at 282 pounds. He's very strong from his lower half. He has very well developed legs. Size-wise, they are very impressive and overall his conditioning was on point. But I think his upper half needs little bit more size to match with his humongous legs. From Czech Republic, Jan Thurik has managed to beat 11 contestants with his tremendous package. He was very sharp with striated chest and well-built shoulders. He wanted to crack top 5 and I think he could be higher than 8th place. He is going to compete in Europa Pro next weekend to have better performance there. German sensation Tim Budesheim does not have the best structure, but this time he has brought one of his best looks on stage. He was extremely shredded and vascular. Tim is very dense and thick and he has fixed his back shots this time. His posing routine has significantly improved and overall he looks much better now, but he has been awarded with 7th place. French bodybuilder Theo Laguerre has finished taking 6th place. He has brought some significant improvements, especially his back looks better. He has very balanced physique and his conditioning is always on point. I honestly see him beating Blessing Awodibu as his lower half is well developed, he has balance in his physique and his conditioning was exceptional. I personally had 8th place finisher Jan Thurik, 7th place finisher Tim Budesheim and 6th place finisher Theo at higher place than Blessing. So Blessing Awodibu had to settle for 5th place in his second show of the season. He was very confident this time and even he was expecting to beat Regan Grimes in the show to fight for the title.
He said he bet me 5 5K.
I told Regan to put his money where his mouth is.
5K, I beat him.
5K?
5K.
He's surely improved conditioning wise since his last show Chicago Pro, but it was not the same package compared to what we saw last year when he won back-to-back 2 pro shows under the supervision of coach George Farah. His legs were downsized with almost no muscle separation and details there, and overall he looked flat. But honestly, his physique looks really exhausted and tired to me. So hopefully he does manage to peak well next time.
Led into the show. Obviously, the result was not exactly what we had planned. I faded and flattened out. My body seemed tired and wasn't able to get the fullness and roundness back and the hardness since the New York Pro Prep, especially on my legs. I needed a break and a long, productive off season to put some size on. So, because I've been on prep since January 2022. With no real off season. I'll take some break, get LT, and a long productive off season to put some size on, especially on these damn legs. And so it's go time.
All the way from China, Xiaoming Yan has managed to beat a couple of Olympians and arrived at 4th place, which is highly impressive and a great achievement for Xiaoming. He was very full and round with impressive sheer amount of mass. He is 167-168 centimeters tall, so his height is close to Rolly Winkler, Hadi Choopan and William Bonek. And this time he was weighing in at 240 pounds on Flex Weekend Italy Pro stage, which means he put on 15 pounds of mass this year, as last year he was at 225 pounds in his pro debut show. Although Xiaoming Yan has short height disadvantage, but he is very complete. He does not have any major weak body part. I think with more muscle maturity, density and sharp conditioning, he is going to be the next giant killer in the men's open division. Roman Fritz has impressed me a lot. He was as big as Nathan Asha and other contestants with very sharp conditioning and dense physique, which are his strength. He was super relaxed throughout his entire show as he's already qualified for the Olympia, so obviously he did not have the stress unlike his fellow contestants. And it's an impressive result for Roman, finishing behind Regan Grimes, and he's not done yet. He's going to compete next weekend in Spain Europa Pro and also in France Cheru Classic. So wish him the best. Regan Grimes has brought his biggest package by far on stage. He is 20 pounds heavier this time. Undeniably, he has made improvements size-wise, but seemingly he could not peak well for the show. He was flat in the prejudging, even he improved his look in the finals, but it was still not enough to beat Nathan Asha, who was very dry and peeled. In the comparison with the Nathan Asha, realistically, Regan was dominant from size standpoint. He was wider and much bigger than Nathan Asha, whereas 37 years old Nathan perfectly nailed his conditioning. He was very dense and thick, and he has incredible muscle maturity, which Regan does not have yet. Regan had advantage in back shots because of his impressive back development, thickness and width, and his well-built hamstrings and glutes, where Nathan is very narrow from back with high lats insertions, and I think because of that he was losing in back shots, but in front and side shots Nathan showcased his very dense and mature physique. Although Nathan's left bicep looked slightly smaller than the other, which was always the case even prior to his bicep tear, but he was still strong in the front shots, whereas Regan has to improve his biceps and chest thickness. There was no match with Nathan's chest thickness to Regan's. But both athletes are going to fight again next weekend in Europa Pro, and Regan's coach Milo Sarchev is very optimistic about Regan beating Nathan Asha in his second attempt. So Nathan Asha has won his 10th IFBB Pro show. I think it was one of his best package conditioning wise. He brought very small and flat midsection, and his midsection was well controlled throughout the entire show. I know he said this is his biggest package this time, but to me he looks a little bit downsized, and from my standpoint his 2017-2018 version was much bigger than this one. But I'm very happy for him. He finally decided to compete in Olympia this year, Last time we saw him 5 years before in 2018 with 8th place, so hopefully Nathan brings more improvements to his comeback on the Olympia stage this year. Thanks for watching.